Hello and welcome back. Here's my next build. This is the Tamiya German tank destroyer, Marder III in 1/35 scale. This is another kit that I got off of eBay a while ago. I have my stash here. Just to show you quickly around the box. It comes with a couple of markings, one gray and one with the tri-camo markings. Again, to show you what's in the box. That's the kit number there. Alright, so let's quickly open up and just give you a quick tour before I start on the kit. Let's put this over there. Alright, so just right off the bat, you got here the instructions. Typical of the Tamiya, you got a built out model here, photo, black and white photo. You got some information there about the Marder, and if you want to read it, I'll just hold it here. You can hit pause and read it yourself. Alright, so typical Tamiya instructions, a nice little booklet here. Tools you'll need, the paint, call outs, typical warning, and then it goes into the line drawings. Starting putting together the hull. Then you got your gear, your wheels, so forth. So I'm just going to give you a quick little breeze through here to show you what the instructions. She's got lots of steps. 8, 29, and 29 steps altogether, including putting together the figures. And for typical Tamiya, it gives you a little bit of painting information there, and some tech tip here, which is, since this is in Japanese, I don't read Japanese unfortunately, so I can't read that. But this gives you some other languages here. I presume that this is probably what it refers to. Giving you some pointers about painting the figures to get some realistic finish and so forth. You can pause and read that if you like. And then you have your markings. And here's the decals. I'll show you that in seconds. So you got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Looks like you got 5 total markings here in this kit. And here are the decals. Now this is also from 2001, like the last build that I did, that dragon. Hopefully it'll be in a little bit better shape than not. So I shall find out. All right, you look at it. Okay. All right. So what's the actual plastic? Over. Typical Tamiya. The bags were stapled. I unstapled them. Make this a little bit quicker. They're plastic compared to that dragon kit. It's nice and softer plastic, so you don't get too much crinkly noises here in the video. Alright, so first step, bag. You got your poly caps, probably for the wheels, for the idler wheels and the gear wheel. Alright, and here are the plates that make up the hull. You see some nice little details. Always good sharp rivet details there. And the side of the hull. Before, just a quick look on the flip side. Alright, next bag here. Yeah, 2 identical in one bag, looks like. Right? Yep, 2 identical ones. Alright, so let's take a look at one. So here are the wheels. Again, you can see the details in there. Some of the spare tracks. Again, the details. Let's see there. And here's on the flip side. Again, you can see the details that comes with the kit. Alright. And the last bag has 2 screws. One sprue contains the parts for the gun. It's a 2-piece barrel. Just to show you some of the details here. So, you see, you got a 2-piece barrel. Hopefully, it'll be a nice job to clean it up. Won't be too much of a problem. On the flip side. Alright, and the last full sprue contains all the small little pieces that go along with the kit, including the 2 figures here. And again, let me just give you a close-up here of the sprue. showing some details there of the figures there, some other bits and bobs, and all these little small pieces. And got some of the tools, and the other figure, some of the other small pieces, some of the mesh. Show you the flip side. You can see the details of the crew figures that come here in the face and the head. So detail wise, pretty good, pretty good. I mean, I know it's an older kit, 2001 at this point, but it's pretty nice. And of course with Tamiya, you get these vinyl rubbery tracks, which I know some of you guys don't mind, and some of you folks hate with a passion probably. Alright, so but let me just give you a quick look here. Yeah, I mean, I think the details is pretty decent for vinyl tracks, and once you paint it up, weather it up, you know, it is what it is, and I don't think it'll look too bad. Anyway, so that's what comes in the box. That's it. And inside, just some more information. I guess some warning information here. Alright, so this is going to be my next build, so stay tuned for more. Alright, thank you. Hello and welcome here to a quick little first update. Just working on the very first step here. Just want to say, Tamiya kit, I mean really, they go together very well. The engineering is great. No problems whatsoever putting this together. Just a couple of things to point out. With putting this together, you're putting the four walls in the bottom here to form the main husk. I also cut off the top hull plate here just to use as a guide, just to make sure that I am putting everything all nicely lined up. I mean, the engineering is great enough that I probably could do without it, but just to make sure, double check and avoid any errors, I just use this as a guide as I was gluing on the other pieces. Make sure everything's aligned, all nice and square. So that's one tip. I already started putting on the bogies here on the side. Haven't put on the others yet. One thing I want to also point out, just going over how I tend to work for taking out the parts of the bogies here. Here's the other bogies. When they have these little small tabs, attachment points, when they're very close like that, it's very tight to get in here to cut them off. Usually what I would do is probably just cut off here, if you can see that, which gives me a little bit more room here to cut these off, and then I'll go back and trim off the pieces here. Just find that works easier, so I don't want to break any pieces. Now as far as cleanup, like these little small pieces here for the bogies, I mean, they're in here. Once you put on the wheels, you're not going to really need it, so you really don't need to do any cleanups here. But if I did, I would just use like these little small sanding sticks and just lightly sand the attachment points. Now the Tamiya kits, the attachment points are really thin, really nice, so it makes it very easy to clean up on that. On the flat parts, like for example here on the sides, what I tend to do is just cut it as flush as possible to the part. So I just have the flat piece here you see on top, and line it up and just snip, 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 and snip. And then I'll go back again, a little sanding stick, just take off whatever little burring is left here from the attachment points. This works very well for the Tamiya kits. The plastic is really nice. On some other kits, the plastic is either very brittle or too soft, and cutting it that way, flush against that, you might actually damage the part. So for those kind of kits, I do not recommend it. Specifically, the Airfix plastic tend to be kind of soft, and it's easy to mar it when you're cutting it close like that, and also clear plastic as well. Anyway, so on with the build. I'll be right back. Thank you. Hello. One little issue that I came up with just to show you here on the front plate here. When I put it on, there was a little hairline crack, which you see there in white. Why that is, I don't know. Most likely this plate here, when I put it on, I probably pushed it down a little bit too much, and it was just a fraction of a millimeter down, lower than it should have been. So what I did, I took some Tamiya putty, and using one of these sculpting tools, specifically this little angled one here, I put some on it, then I went on the inside. A little messy, but I went in and I spread it in on that crack till it started to ooze out a little bit here in the front. Then I took some nail polish remover, acetone, over a cotton swab, and just wiped it clean here in the front, so it's nice and smooth and fills in that space. I'm not too concerned about the very edges here, either side, because you're going to have the spare tracks here, and that's going to cover up whatever seam is there. Alright, otherwise, moving along, so I'll be right back. Hello and welcome back. As you see, I made quite a jump here on the build. You know, I wanted to film a little bit more, but you know, being a Tamiya kit, actually this one went by pretty quick, pretty fast, and pretty easy to build. There's really not any fit issues that couldn't be taken care of with just a little bit of sanding and a little bit of careful, you know, watching what you're doing, where the parts are going. So the kit went by really quick. I was going to do different parts and separately so I can paint them, like the wheels and so forth, but I decided, since the kit went just so fast putting it together, so I just have completed practically all of it, and then I'm going to go back and painting it. Although some parts are not glued on, like for example the main gun here. Just take this out from the little bushing here without breaking everything. There you go. So here I'm going to show you the gun. So you got the that little rubber bushing there where it's going to go in, and now the gun itself probably took me almost as long as the rest of the vehicle here. Just a lot of little parts, all small parts, you know, very fiddly, very delicate. They have to be careful with and take your time. So basically, it's, you know, glue a couple of pieces, let it dry, firm up, move on to another piece, and so forth, and keep going until everything is all glued in place. So you can see some of the details there. Now the gun is, you can elevate the gun, excuse me. Gun does elevate, and the barrel itself right now does move. Focus. It does move, although for the final painting I'm just gonna leave it in place. It's not gonna be movable. You're gonna see if I paint it and put the gun on, all the stuff paint's gonna get scratched off. Alright, and here's the vehicle. I got some spent shells there in the back. See, there's no interior, but you really can't see anything in there. There's the front. I decided to leave one of the vision ports open just for something different. The main gun here is positionable. There's a little ball turret there. Okay, I see I have the wheels, and I put on the tracks. So these are the kit rubber tracks, and actually they do say you can use regular plastic cement. In this case, Tamiya extra thin to glue it on, and actually worked, because this has been on here for several hours and it's held up pretty well, so that's good. But I'm going to be taking off the tracks for painting purposes. Okay, and then you have your two crewmen, headless at the moment, so I'm going to paint the head separately. But right now, just letting these dry up. The glue, I mean. And the last thing I just want to mention is the spare rounds for the basket there. I mean, they're solid. They're not hollow. I did hollow mine. Take one out here, show you. I did hollow them, and it was pretty simple. Just took a X-Acto knife, made a little mark right as closest to the center as possible. Basically, I'm just making a little pilot hole in here, and then I just use a pin vise drill to drill out the hole. Drilled in about a couple of millimeters. Like so. And once I had a deep enough hole, then I went back and I just widened up the hole a little bit more, just to make it a bit more realistic. Obviously, being plastic, you're not going to make it as thin as if this were brass rounds. But anyway, so that's it. So my next update will be painting. All right, so stay tuned in the next few days. All right, thank you.